For Biden, it was all glitz and glamour. A night to rub elbows with Hollywood's elite, well, some C-plus stars at least. A chance to shake them down for a couple of $1 million. And from the outside, it looked just a little different.
Just a little different. And you know, it's bad when Al Sharpton is making sense about Biden's connections, or lack thereof, with the working class.
If I was going to do a night at Radio City, a beautiful, big, ritzy night with the two ex-presidents, I would have had Biden that morning have breakfast in Harlem or Brooklyn or something to connect people, because the average person in New York that's dealing with being afraid of the subway or that's dealing with a policeman being killed didn't relate to a ritzy thing. Balance it out. You've got to do the ritzy things to raise your money, but let me feel like I'm part of the concern.
Joining us now, Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell. Al Sharpton is right, but Biden can't and won't do that, Gianno, because he's going to get an earful and a faceful of what is plaguing New York and this whole country, this pain and suffering that he has wrought upon the American people.
And beyond that, I got to tell you, this is another clear-cut example of the Democratic Party being the party of the elite. We continue to see this time and time again, and the old adage of them being the working class party is now dead. Joe Biden is ensuring that. You had Barack Obama who ensured that as well. And what's even more upsetting is someone who was a spokesperson for a national police organization is the many law enforcement officers who are putting their lives on the line in very dangerous cities like New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, all across the country, are suffering a slap in the face from the President of the United States, who has demonstrated that he does not have their backs. People like one of my very dear friends, Chief Joel Fitzgerald, his son was that Temple University police officer who was killed a couple of years ago. And I got to tell you, Chris Fitzgerald, Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald of Temple University, his family's fighting for justice still, and they know who killed him. And the district attorney there in Philadelphia is trying to slow walk the situation to ensure that this person who killed him doesn't get the death penalty. Joe Biden is sitting in this same crowd of folks who a lot of regular, everyday people know that they cannot count on to support law enforcement. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't be the case. And that's why we need a sea of leadership change.
You know, Al Sharpton understands politics 101. He knows that Joe Biden doesn't care about the working class, to your point, Gianno. But he's like, just pretend, Mr. President, pretend like you care about them. Show up and make them think you care about them. And Joe Biden couldn't even do that. But let's move to this, because former President Trump, he's been receiving backlash from liberals for selling Bibles. Even Democrat Senator and Reverend Raphael Warnock got into the action. Watch.
The Bible doesn't not need Donald Trump's endorsement. And Jesus, in the very last week of his life, chased the money changers out of the temple, those who would take sacred things and use them as cheap relics to be sold in the marketplace.
You know, the Christian faith is built on those who evangelize the faith, and part of evangelizing is the Bible. So I would say good on Donald Trump for promoting the Bible. Maybe people should read it and learn something from it, as opposed to Reverend Warnock.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that have been said is about the price of the Bible, and which he has, Donald Trump, that is, has put up for sale. And I had to take a look at Amazon because I wasn't sure what the price of the Bible would be in certain cases. But it says that a personalized Bible would cost about $65, and some of them are even higher, 75 plus. And I know this would be a personalized Bible from Donald Trump. I do say that it is important for people to get that word. I think that that's absolutely important. I don't knock Donald Trump for pushing Bibles. I think it's a great thing. I also know that there's free Bibles out there too. You can go to Bible.com. So this is a non-issue in which anything that Donald Trump does or his campaign does, they're going to make an issue out of in the 2024 election. And that's why there has to be an absolute focus, a laser focus, I would say, by the Trump campaign and Donald Trump himself to stay on message. And that's the most important thing I think we can gather from this story. We stay on message. Not like the Biden administration when we saw what they did for Easter. You want to promote good Christian values like a lot of us believe in, because there's been an attack on our faith. And I think that's a story after story has been for years, but it's intensified as of late. And we see that being ushered in by Joe Biden and his administration.
Well said, Gianno Caldwell. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.